The title of this podcast is The Weaver Brothers Island Stages Rally Prep Podcast. There you go. Good. Try and say that after a few beverages.
Oh, I can't say after.
We're on. We're live.
I can't say after half a pint. Yes. Well, it's rather fun to be here.
No, I'm looking forward to it. So basically, Joe asked if I could be involved in some form of the PR, to help promote the rally this year. And I've always wanted to do a podcast. So this is now the opportunity we can just gas about the rally.
Yeah.
Tell everybody what's going on so that the competitors know what's going on, the Resis know what's going on, the spectators know, and we can all have a jolly good rally. Oh, by the way, I'm your host, Kevin Richardson. So, and Freddie Death, prodigy rally driver, and Richard Weaver. Are you our title sponsor for this year?
Yes, very happy to be.
Perfect.
Yeah, wouldn't have it any other way, and very pleased to be very much involved.
It's very, very much appreciated because
Yes.
obviously without support from people like you, it just won't happen, will
Well,
it?
there's the financial element, but I like to do a lot more than that, which is why I'm here. But also just in general, I'm very invested in the rally. And I suppose on that note, one thing I could say about the rally is that obviously there is a certain amount of history related to the island stages. And many moons ago it was the Isle of Wight rally, but we won't go quite so far as back as that.
God, and when did it start?
Well, back in the 50s. So it started if you go on some of the sort of British Pathé footage, which you will find on YouTube, with very, very cut glass plummy voices narrating over a sort of, slightly enthusiastic sort of orchestra sort of like background, and you will see sort of very old vintage cars rolling off the ferry, and a chap saying about, how about the Isle of Wight rally, this and the rest of it. So that's where it sort of started. Anyway, so of course we now know that, after that, more interest came in the specials, really.
Yeah.
And of course a lot of it was driven into it was all into the forests, really.
Well, that's the thing. I mean, when were you born, Freddie?
2007.
Okay, yeah. So, obviously before your time then.
A little bit.
But I remember when I was probably your age, when I was younger actually, I remember watching the start up at Premier Ford.
Yes.
Jumping on
Premier
the bike.
Motors.
Premier Motors, was that what it was?
But it
Jumping
was,
on my push bike, cycling up to the forest and dumping it in the woods somewhere so I could run around and watch the stages.
Yeah,
I absolutely loved
there
it.
we are. So just, I'll put that just for the camera there. Premier Motors, as it was back in the day, were one of the sponsors. No, that wasn't the first island stages, but Premier Motors sponsored the rally. They were a Ford dealership.
Obviously, you look on YouTube, and I've got some mates who were rallying their minis back, and they were going down. You can find it on YouTube. They're going down. Is it the steps?
The steps, that was over at. That was over at. Over at Cowbourne, whatever it was.
Okay, that makes sense.
Was it Rowridge or?
Rowridge could be. Yeah.
I think so. I can't remember exactly.
But was that the same sort of thing? It would go around Parkhurst Forest and then it would go off there, or?
That's right. So, this is the thing. The island stages, apart from the use of Bryston and Parkhurst Forest, was very much farm rallying. It would be over some pretty rough ground.
Yeah.
Like the one you were just mentioning when you're coming down the steps.
Yeah.
Over at Pagham, which is a short stage, it was about 1.2 miles.
Oh really?
Like
Oh wow.
Yeah. So it started basically at Rookley. So you just turned in off of Rookley into Pagham Farm.
Yeah.
And it brought you out just at Merston Manor.
Okay.
Yeah.
I never knew that.
Yeah.
Wow.
So that was one, and then there was also another section which was down the back of Shide. I can't remember the name of that particular stage, but there was a stage that went through the back of Shide and basically came out somewhere. Or rather over near Bleakdown. I can't really remember because I'm too young, really.
Yeah. But when did that sort of finish?
The island stages, as we remember them, finished, I think, about 91, 92 was the last one, I think. It was certainly very early. If it wasn't 90, it was the very early 90s, one or two.
And it was a massive gap until basically the Isle of Wight Car Club went, we really want to do this again.
And of course we had the first event over at Palmer's Farm, which was actually very much a throwback to the days of the farm rally.
I mean, a lot of people ask why don't we go back to the rallies that were around in the 70s and 80s? And correct me if I'm wrong, but I think when we wanted to start up the rally again, where we were starting from scratch, and Motorsport UK basically are the governing body for that. They wanted to make sure we weren't just a bunch of idiots, and they wanted.
Yeah, well, they misjudged that.
and they wanted us to run a one event,
wanted a
single venue with no spectators, and they basically went, if you can run a rally like that and behave yourself and organise it properly, maybe we can move on in the future. And to be honest, I think it was a great success.
Well, it worked very, very well.
It did.
It worked very, very well because it was a single venue over farmland, which is the like of which we've not seen. Certainly from since the 80s. I mean, nobody ran rallies like that. The difficulty with that particular format was that, of course, it was rough. It was several times over the stage. And of course, there was bomb holes basically. But people liked it.
I loved
savage.
it. I think we were seeded last in our classic mini, and so by the time everybody had gone round to the stage, they'd all done it, and they all walked up to our cars going, Kev, it's bad. Like, your car's gonna break. And Katrin was popping herself in the navigator seat. She was like, no, we're going to die. And then basically we just drove around and thoroughly enjoyed it.
Of course, most of it was great because it was over the field.
Yeah.
A lot of it was in the fields, and obviously you had some of the lanes where it was quite quick. There was just a few sections where there was braking zones and like natural kind of like potholes which got dug out. But anyway, aside from that, there wasn't very easy to run that again, I don't think, really. And I think the designs always were beyond that.
Exactly, and so now, we're doing a single stage tarmac event, which was run the 2024, wasn't it?
It was 2024, but what I would like to add to that is that not only was the concept of having a go at organising a rally around basically a 400-acre farm, which is not a lot to play with when you actually start looking at it.
Yeah.
The concept, again, of running effectively a single stage, 4 times in one direction, 4 times in the other direction, is an extremely good idea. And I think, I've said it in other media that on YouTube, on my YouTube channel. The idea of actually just running an event, which is simple. It's like a single venue because effectively, when you go to a single venue, you effectively run 4 stages in one direction, 4 stages in the other. Because apart from moving a few chicanes, basically nothing changes.
No, that's right. Yeah.
That's just a workaround because it's how it is. Aside from that, it's a great concept because it's easy. It's easy to organise. It's easier to organise than multiple stages. It's not too bewildering for committees. It's not too bewildering for crews who are looking to step out of single venue because it's a familiar format with very simple road sections to negotiate. But you're getting quality mileage.
Yeah.
And what I like about that is that it's proved to be quality mileage because we have both expert and novice crews who competed in 2024 who are returning for the 2026 event, which includes the winner Rob Swan and Damien Cole and various other, Daryl Taylor, there's Sean Quigley and various other lads from Wales like John Morgan, various other people, and there's too many names. But they're all coming back, and they all were saying, after the next event, they were like, when are you running it again? And when we said we were basically going to miss out 4 months and not run it the following November, but go to the following February, so a 16-month gap, there was a few kind of oohs and ahs and groans. But I said, well, look, it's only another 4 months, Christmas will be out of the way and, you'll be getting ready for the rally.
Yeah.
And, but it shows how keen they were to come back.
That was the other thing. People often ask me, why aren't we going back to Parkhurst? Because that was like the icon, for most people, that was the iconic thing. But I believe, and I could be wrong, the Forestry Commission
Forestry England
are quite happy for us to run it, but there is a price.
But there's a levy per mile, so basically you have to pay for the first pass and the second pass being slightly less than the first pass.
And I suppose it's also the same, that there are probably more people that have access to tarmac rallying than gravel rallying.
Everyone's geared up for tarmac rallying in the south of England because, as I mentioned, there's no gravel rallies. So unless you're very keen and you want to be marching off to like Wales and Yorkshire and to Scotland, if you're just a clubman competitor, what are you going to do? Yeah. You're going to look around you and you're going to be thinking, well, the average person that I know that goes rallying runs around in a tarmac spec car because they're going to racing circuits, disused airfields, and other sort of that kind of like single venue. That's mainly what we have. The fact that we are now able to close roads, came before COVID. You were able to close the road, but you could not suspend the Road Traffic Act.
That's it. So, for example, the ride carnival, you can close the road, but you can't make your float go 70 miles an hour down there.
Exactly. To a credit to Motorsport UK, they did work a blinder on getting that, because frankly, rallying, for rallying to continue in this country, it's not going to be at single venues which are in decline. It's not going to be in forestry, which is also in decline, although it is kind of like steady at the moment. The only real growth I can see is to use public roads in whatever format the clubs see fit. So I still say that the format that the Isle of Wight Car Club have come up with is a good one.
Yeah.
Now I know there are designs, provided we have a successful event in 2026, to expand to maybe another stage or another 2 stages or whatever it happens to be. The fact remains that, irrespective of that, the format as we have it, which is with the single stage, is an excellent one.
I think it's absolutely brilliant.
I think at the end of the day, it's fun, it's simple to understand for a driver and co-driver, it's cheap, it's a forward way to go rallying on closed roads, really.
Yeah. There's two things you picked up on there. That it's a progression, because we'd obviously only done single stage event, single venue events, and this last one was our first ever closed roads event with a road section, and we were bizarrely enough most excited about the road section, because we've never done one of them.
To be honest with you, from my point of view, and I've done a lot of rallies, I've always liked road sections,
Yeah.
because basically it gives you a little bit of chill out time. You're still in a rally car feeling like a rally driver.
Driving down the street and everyone's giving you a ride.
And you're getting waves with the little kids and stuff like that, and it's all rather fun. And basically, it makes you feel like a rock star.
It does. We went, say, last time, wouldn't it? You'd finish and you'd drive through Newport High Street, round past McDonald's, down the High Street, and everyone's like, what's going on?
And that was the thing. And actually, it was funny you should say that, because that was done deliberately to take the rallying into the centre of the town.
Brilliant.
Now, a few of the drivers did sort of like slightly complain. A few of them said, why are we being routed through the town? It's a pain in the backside. We could just go straight up the dual carriageway. And I was like, well, because basically we want to bring the rallying to the public. You go to places like Belgium, and of course, everything is around the town centre. It's not hidden away. So it's a PR exercise.
I said to her, what we should have in, when you drive past Costa, there, you want a rally car on there, don't you? Going, this is why you're seeing rally cars. And all you have to do is walk down the road, and you'll be in the pit, in the service area. So it was great. So going back to that, it's really good road sections, and say our first closed road. And
but can I ask you just one thing?
Yeah.
I bet one thing you noticed about your day out on the island stages was that basically you didn't have a lot of downtime.
No, honestly.
That is lovely, isn't it?
Yeah.
Because no disrespect to single venues, because they are great. But the fact of the matter is, what you're not doing is you're not having 50-minute or plus or minus gaps, perhaps an hour gap between stages.
Definitely.
You're on the go.
Yeah.
You're on the go, and that's terrific.
That's the fun of it.
Yeah.
It keeps you buzzing the whole day.
Yeah.
A single venue, it's great. It's its own thing, but you finish your stage, you're buzzing, and then it's like, oh.
But you're right, this is like the island stages is like an amazing introduction to that world, isn't it? Because it did, but as soon as we did our first one, and then I went, I'm not saying, because obviously we cut our teeth on circuit rallying, and then you learn the trade. But once I'd experienced that one island stages, I went, no, this is what I want to do from now on.
Well, realistically, that's what most of the rallying was. But at the end of the day, the roots of rallying have always been about that endurance element. Yeah. Now, the island stages is by no means an endurance event, but like you say, it still gives you the spirit, the flavour, and the buzz. Yeah, absolutely. And I know that it works because, like I said earlier, so many of the competitors from the previous time have returned.
I think as well, it's the notes as well. Obviously, single venue.
Yes, it's the first time we had to do notes.
It's not a long stage, so once you go through first time, in a way you don't know where you're going, but you sort of get a grasp of it, and obviously it's a great way to get the co-driver and the driver onto notes if you haven't done them before. In a way, get the sort of beginner drivers into the closed road sort of vibe in a way, and obviously the quick boys go very quickly through that stage. I think it's a good balance.
It is, but you see the other aspect of that is it also gives the opportunity for co-driver and driver to learn reconnaissance.
Yes.
But it's not overwhelming.
No.
Everything about the island stages is not overwhelming. Basically, everything about the format, it's kind of like a bite size.
It's a baby.
If you ever want to dip your toe into that sort of rallying, this is perfect, isn't it? The fact that we learned on the island stages the whole timing from a road section to the stage, finish the stage, helmets on, helmets off, doing that. Once we'd completed that, the next one that we did was the Jersey Rally.
Yes.
And we were not fazed by it.
No, you weren't. And I tell you what, you've got your helmets coming on and off an awful lot on there. They're short stages and there's lots of them.
Yeah, but we'd learned that trade. We'd gone from circuit rallying to doing the island stages. Once done, we went, okay, we know how it works now. And then you could go to a massive multi-day event and go, yeah, okay, this is how it works. How much is the average circuit rally?
Oh, super. Thank you. Perfect. Thank you very, very much.
The average cost of a single venue circuit rally is what, 400 quid?
A single venue rally, we'll call it.
Yeah.
It's probably about £350 to £400.
Yeah.
Depends where you go.
Yeah, it depends what you're doing. And the circuit event's going to be about 400. The headline price of the entry fee is not really the focus so much, unless of course it's cheap like ours is. It's other peripheral matters, such you don't use tyres.
That's it. We were literally just discussing that. I mean, I remember Wayne in his Escort and Dean in his Subaru when and Andy in his Civic. When we basically finished the event, we were going, we haven't used any tyres in this event. Whereas normally you come back with a completely trash set of So
well, let's offer some perspective on that. I did the rally.
Oh yeah, go on.
And I started on second-hand tyres. I did. I started on a set of second-hand tyres. They were probably, I would say, 2/3 to 3/4 fresh. So they were at least 25% worn. And I did that rally, and then I used them at Goodwood.
There you go. There.
And knackered.
And why is that? Why is that? Because you're not just hanging in the corners at high speed. Because you're not hanging in the corners.
Yeah. Because basically the thing is that at single venues, basically, is every time you come to a chicane or a change of direction, it is literally last of the late breakers.
Yeah.
And in the bends and so forth, because you can generally see everything that's going on, or if it's at a racing circuit, you will tend to be right on the edge of the grip for longer and just in a different kind of fashion. I mean, the disciplines of single venue and the disciplines of closed road rallying are quite different. So you don't tend to use the tyres on roads because I think in the main they are smoother. They're probably at times sometimes a bit more slippery.
Yeah.
Maybe that's not true, I don't know. But the point is that you're much more flowing with the natural topography of a road than you are having
racetrack in a way.
Well, racetracks or airfields, it's enforced change of direction, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's different. It's just different.
It's just different, and it's to a certain extent a prepared. And that was the other thing, isn't it? That with the island, I remember everyone saying that it's going to be greasy and green and slippery and everything else. And yes, it was, but that's what makes a rally, though, isn't it? Exactly. Yeah. If you want a clinical circuit rally, then that's one thing.
There was a lot more grip. Than people thought there would have been. But what you've also got to bear in mind is that it's only usually a couple of three dodgy bits. So through Farston, Copse was a bit green because it's under trees.
Yeah.
And parts of going up through Rollins Lane were green, but that was quite a straight, quick section of road. So there wasn't a huge amount to worry about. But like you say, surface change is part of rally.
Yeah, of course it is. Yeah. On that, I'm going to quickly interrupt because in future episodes, I want to do questions from listeners. And obviously, this is being the first episode, we don't have any questions for listeners, but I have a question. It's in February. Is it going to snow?
On the Isle of Wight.
On the Isle of Wight, yeah. Well, I'm not even going to comment on that because if I say anything, it probably will.
Yes.
But I mean, I think you'd be lucky to catch a frost.
I've always wanted to do a snow. That's my thing. I don't want to give up rallying until I've done a snow rally.
I really hope it doesn't snow because if there's one good way of messing up a rally,
everyone's going to have wet tyres.
We're not in Sweden. Yeah, everyone's going to be on wet tyres, which still won't be suitable enough for snow.
I don't think the top
I don't even think it will be the rally drivers. It will just be the roads on the island in general. Just be gridlock.
It would be horrendous. So no. I'm hoping it's going to be a good, mild, nice, rain-free day.
It'll be fine. And that's the other beauty of rallying, isn't it? It doesn't matter what they chuck whether they chuck at you. Exactly. You just get on with it, don't you?
No, that's right. We're going to need a whole lot of marshals for that event.
Yeah, so to quickly interject then. So obviously this is the first episode. We're just talking crap basically and explaining about, what we're about the island stages this year. But in future episodes, we're going to have an episode very much dedicated towards being a spectator. If you want to be part of the rally itself, you can be a marshal or a part of the support team. A section really about the residents, because obviously we are closing public roads and people are affected by it. There are pros and cons to that for everybody involved.
I mean, basically, you have to bear in mind that this is a free sporting event. There's no gate fee. If you want to watch the rally, you just need to turn up.
Yeah.
Take the advice from the marshals. You're better off in the spectator zones. And basically just take the directions from the marshals. But it is free, it is exciting, it is fun.
Yeah.
Talk to anybody that's actually ever become involved in participating in motorsport, and they will tell you where they caught their enthusiasm and the bug for rallying was from spectating.
Too right
they were taken to a rally by their dear old dad, or whoever it was. I mean, I remember, being in the forests and just being captivated by it, and all I wanted to do was basically, I would literally skid around the house on a skateboard or something, pretending I was a rally driver with my dad's old crash helmet on. And it would literally, it just absolutely, and to this day, 40 years later, there is nothing like it.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. So so there are going to be many episodes. It's only maybe 6 weeks until the rally starts. So there's lots of information that people want to know, and that's the whole reason of this video podcast. But also that means that there are still entries for the event if people want to do it. So we talked about how cost effective it is as far as doing an event is concerned. Obviously the one big blocker maybe people might be thinking about is how to get here. We're on the island, and I believe that we have a discount code with Red
There
Funnel.
are, so basically there's very good rates on the ferries, which are, plus or minus around 120, 30 quid basically, depending on what sort of vehicle and you're bringing, but that's with your trailer as well.
Yeah.
So your car, your whatever vehicle you're coming with and trailering with is going to be between about 100 and 150 pounds, but should be no more than that. It should be under that. And the discount code is available when you enter. So if you enter the rally and you've paid, you then contact the entry secretary, email her, and you will be provided with a discount code, and then you phone up Red Funnel and say, I'd like this please, and they say no problem, and they book you.
Brilliant. And at the moment of making this video, I believe there's supposed to be...
Yeah, well there's 59 entrants at the present stage, there's 60 total.
Okay.
So there are plenty of other I would encourage people to enter because there probably will be a few drop out here and there. So I would say anybody that's wanting to enter the rally today, get on and do it. And I'm pretty sure if you're committed to it, you will get a run.
Excellent. You won't. Don't miss out.
To loop back on the spectator point, you mentioned spectators. Obviously, how do we spectate is the question. Obviously, you always want to answer that.
Well, how do you spectate?
The shuttles.
Oh yeah, there's shuttles. Yeah, so basically we are currently
important.
sat in the White Hart pub in Haven Street,
Which is very nice.
We've had an excellent meal. I've had pork belly. I can recommend it. So just adding on a few pounds after Christmas. But anyway, nevertheless, we, my company, we're sponsoring. Last year we did a shuttle bus from the steam railway up to this pub. And then basically there's a short walk up to the stage. It's free.
30 seconds.
Yeah, it's about 30 seconds. And this year we're providing 2, because last year I think we ferried more than 1,000 spectators.
No way.
Yeah, and there was queues. So we put on an extra shuttle bus this year. And there's parking at the steam railway. So basically you've got the White Hart pub, which is at the local parish council, and the steam railway, who are all very much behind the event. So it's very much, the whole village is supportive of the event. You can go down to the Isle of Wight steam railway, you can park your car there, they've got generous parking, and you can hop on one of the shuttle buses and it'll take you up to the stage, and when you've had enough, you hop on the shuttle bus that takes you back down again. You stop off at the White Hart and have a nice meal and a pint. We probably have lunch here. If you book it, I would.
As a spectator, you can get very close to the action. However, if you want to get really close to the action, you want to be a marshal or an organiser, don't you? So that's another way. If you really want to get in there and be part of the event, you can. Obviously, you know.
Do you get a little goodies bag?
Do you?
Yeah, there's a little goodies bag. Yeah, so I'm just getting those sorted out actually. Yeah.
So all the information about being a competitor, all the information about being a spectator or a marshal or even a resident, that if you're worried you're going to be affected by the rally, all that information can be found on the Isle of Wight Car Club website. However, as I said before, reading a text is fine, but we're gonna gas about all those different subjects in future episodes. The being a spectator, we're actually going to go. We take the cameras into the woods and up to the cow shed and show you what where you can be, where you can watch, how you can behave.
Yeah, and probably with a little bit of footage of the previous event just intersected, so you can see what it actually looks like.
Definitely, yeah. So, we're going to talk to the head marshal. So, if you really want to get involved, what's involved in that, and support the local motorsport club. 6 weeks to go.
There was one other thing I just wanted to mention, which is that I have here an array of old car club magazines. Going from, 1986 through to 1988, so 3 years effectively. And I just happened to find these because Mike Davidson, who sadly died, I was given all of his memorabilia, stuff he collected over the years. Yeah. And there was loads of car club mags in there, so I've sifted through them all earlier and I found all the ones relating to the island stages of recent times. And what I found very interesting was I went through the entry list. And the entry list for one of the car club, for one of the island stages, was a maximum of 90 competitors, right? And basically, I looked at the entry list, and there was listed on there 90 competitors with 4 reserves. So that's 94. Would you like to hazard a guess as to how many of those competitors were in a Ford Escort?
Oh my goodness!
Here's the question.
How many do you think were in a Ford Escort?
We
94, how many were in Escorts?
We watched the Roger Albert Clark on YouTube 2 years ago, and basically almost all the field, and everyone got excited when something other than an Escort. Yeah. So I reckon, 50? 50 is a good number.
Your guess?
Got it. 55. I'll play the game.
63.
No.
That's insane.
No joke at all. I went through it all earlier, and it was 63. I was looking at it, there's a lot of Escorts. I thought, I'm going to count them.
I mean, it's testament to how good a car they are.
Yeah, there's probably about 12 minis.
Yeah, there you go.
Do you know what I mean? So basically 75 of the entries with an Escort or a Mini. So basically there was another 15, 16 cars or whatever.
Right, thank you very much, gentlemen. Appreciate it.
It's been a pleasure.
So I will go home, edit this, and we'll have some other episodes in the coming weeks telling you more information about the Weaver Brothers. Yeah, I was trying to remember the front. I'm not even drunk, look.
Yeah.
The Weaver Brothers Island Stages Rally Podcast. I can't even say it myself, look.
Try again.
Do you want me to do it for you?
Yeah, got it. You say
The
it.
Weaver Brothers Island Stages Rally Podcast 2026.
Way.